All right, we are streaming.
Okay. This meeting can be accessed via Zoom or the city's YouTube channel. If there's anyone who would like to address City Council or comment during this meeting, you must access the meeting via Zoom to comment. The call-in number is 1-301-715-8592. The meeting ID is 896-1252-3951 #. Password, if prompted, is 844705. When calling in, please listen for my prompt to participate. For safety precautions, if you would like the Zoom link to join the meeting, please email the Clerk of Council at kzielman@wyomingohio.gov, KZEILMAN, all one word, at wyomingohio, all one word, .gov. This information about how to obtain the Zoom link has also been included on the City Council agenda for tonight's meeting, which is available on the city's website. When joining via Zoom link, please raise your virtual hand to comment or address City Council. I would like the city manager to please call the roll.
Mr. Green?
Present.
Ms. Stancourt-Taylor?
Yeah.
Ms. Everett?
Here.
Mr. Delgado?
Here.
Mayor Hoffmeister?
Here.
Take it, everybody.
I'm absent. Jim's there.
Oh, Mr. O'Reilly?
Here.
There are 7 items on the consent agenda. They are approval of the September 28th, 2020 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes, approval of the October 12th, 2020 Special City Council meeting minutes, approval of the October 19th, 2020 regular City Council meeting minutes, approval of the October 26th, 2020 Special City Council meeting minutes, approval of the October 28th, 2020 Special City Council meeting minutes. Resolution honoring the services of Bobby McTurner serving on the Historic Preservation Commission, and resolution authorizing the city manager into a 3-year labor management agreement between the City of Wyoming and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees Bargaining Unit, covering the period of 2021 to 2023. Do I hear a motion with respect to the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Having been moved and second to approve the consent agenda items, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Are there any questions or comments on the special reports? Jim, do you have a report from OKI or First Suburbs?
Yes, OKI had a very successful discussion of the impact on the wider community of the bridge fire. We heard from the Kentucky Department of Transportation that they hope to have the bridge reopened in December, but that there was no certainty until they got enough of a sampling of the steel girders. So the big issue of the month, the big issue of the quarter, was the impact on the local traffic of, as you recall, in the election leading up to this event, McConnell, the senator from Kentucky, was adamant in saying there would be no tolls. And without tolls, it's unlikely that the bridge will be totally reconstructed. So Kentucky will have a significant amount of expense, but there's no likely replacement in the near future as long as Senator McConnell continues to oppose the requirement for tolls. And that was the #1 issue on the
Are there any council committee reports not otherwise on the agenda? We have now reached that point in our meeting where a citizen may express an opinion, make a statement, address a concern, or ask a question on any subject that is not otherwise on the agenda. If there's anyone who would like to address City Council, you must access the meeting via Zoom to comment. The call-in number is 1-301-715-8592. The meeting ID is 896-1252-3951 #. Password, if prompted, is 844705. Again, if you would like to address City Council by phone, you can call in at 1-301-715-8592. At the prompt, you will give the meeting ID, which is 896-1252-3951 #. If prompted for a password, enter 844705. When calling in, please listen for my prompt to participate. When joining via the Zoom link, please raise your virtual hand to comment or address City Council. Please state your name and address for the record before addressing City Council. Comments will be recorded into the minutes and passed along to be addressed by the appropriate staff or City Council committee as needed. So we'll wait for a little bit to see if we have folks.
I have one person coming in right now, so
Okay.
I'm going to give a second. I don't see any hands raised. No one else is trying to come in, and I don't see any hands raised, Mayor.
Okay, all right. Hearing none, we will move on to the next item of business. Report from the acting city manager. Rusty, do you have anything to report?
I do have a couple things. I just want to let everybody know the city offices will be closed on Thursday, November 26th, and Friday, November 27th for the Thanksgiving holiday. The Recreation Center will also be closed on Thanksgiving. But most importantly, I did want to let everybody know that Rumpke will be on schedule next week. So there will be no delays in the Rumpke pickup schedule. I also wanted to let everybody know that the fall curbside leaf pickup program continues to go through December 8th. So get your leaves out to the curb for the city crews to pick up. And I'll also let you know that if you haven't seen our Got Leaves video, you can go to the city's YouTube channel. You can find the link on our City of Wyoming webpage. And the video has some more information about our leaf collection program, but also if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, there'll be more videos coming there in the future. I did want to remind everybody that the December council meeting has moved up a week due to the holidays. So the December council meeting is on December 14th. And then the last thing I wanted to share is that if you haven't had a chance to sign up for the Hawksworth Community Blood Donation, it's on December 7th from 11 to 5 at the Civic Center. If you give Hawksworth a call at 451-0910, you can schedule a time to go. You do need to schedule an appointment to go. And if you donate, you get a free pair of holiday socks. Who can beat a free pair of holiday socks? And just to also let you know that this is our second community blood drive for Hawksworth. And really that was started by one of the police officers on the police department, Tom Riggs, who had a passion for Hawksworth and wanted to see what we could do as a community to help support Hawksworth. And so this is our second one. The first one, we filled up all of the time slots, and this one is nearly full as well. So I wanted to thank Tom for that. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Next order of business, presentation of the Green Business Awards. I will turn it over to Sarah Stancorp Taylor.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor Hoffmeister. The Environmental Stewardship Commission began honoring Wyoming businesses with the Wyoming Green Business Award back in 2019 as a way to recognize the sustainability work so many of our businesses do every day. And they hoped as a way to foster future sustainability practices as our businesses grow and change over time. Tonight, the Environmental Stewardship Commission member Sarah Flem, who also spearheaded this year's application process, during a very interesting year for all of our businesses. She will share a bit about the 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award and our winners. So Rusty, I think, will turn on a presentation And I'll hand it over to Sarah Flett.
Thank you. Actually, now that we have the slideshow, I lost my notes. So let me try to get my notes back.
I can be on for a few minutes if you need it.
Yeah, I am still very much learning how to use my view options. All right, sorry about that. I appreciate your patience. Thank you so much, Council, for inviting me to join your meeting today, and I'm thrilled to be able to talk a little bit about the two Wyoming businesses that we have recognized as recipients for the Wyoming Green Business Award of 2020. And I have to say that any award given to a business or anyone in the year 2020 hopefully carries a little gravitas given all of the challenges that businesses have faced this year. So this year's process was a little bit different. The invitations to apply for this award went out in March. And then of course, we ended up having a lot of shutdowns, which was very disruptive to our businesses. And in fact, some businesses communicated with me by email about some of the challenges they were facing. But the Environmental Stewardship Commission feels so strongly about really promoting local businesses for their green efforts. So we went ahead with this award this year, despite the unusual circumstances, because we really wanted an opportunity to highlight the businesses and share some good news during this challenging year. So this year's winners, I'm pleased to announce, are Sally L. Noble Architect, LLC, and Sheldon Reeder, CPAs. So Rusty, if you could advance to the next slide, please. So Sheldon Reeder, CPAs, makes green practices part of their daily routine at their business. And this is a great way to showcase how small decisions that we make every day can really lead up to substantial impact for the environment. Accounting firms are traditionally big consumers of paper. Mark Reeder noted this and felt that they had a responsibility to be better stewards. And he also noted the beautiful tree canopy here in Wyoming, and that was part of what really focused their effort on the paper consumption. So what they did is they moved to a paperless file system. They also worked to encourage their clients to receive documents electronically so that they're not going through paper like a typical accounting firm does. Additionally, their 20-person team has a shared recycling program, and they are really conscientious about the use of supplies throughout their office. They reuse supplies when they can and make a point of trying to purchase items that don't have to be thrown into the trash after they've been used. The building itself features conservation devices such as motion sensors to decrease energy use. They have they don't use bottled water, they have a water cooler. So they're really taking efforts to make changes that on a daily basis really help with sustainability and conservation. And present today during the Zoom meeting is Ben Holscher, who is here to accept the award for Sheldon Reeder. So I'd like to say congratulations to Sheldon Reeder CPA and to Ben Holscher, who is accepting the award on behalf.
Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate the recognition. It's something that our firm is passionate about. We try to be conscious of the environment in our daily decision making, as you stated above, and are proud to be part of such a thoughtful and caring community. So thanks again.
Thank you, Ben. All right, Rusty, if you could advance the slide, please. And our second recipient of the 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award is Sally Noble Architect. Sally Noble Architect, LLC, has designed many LEED certified homes. I had heard of that certification, and one of the buildings that I work in downtown has that designation, but I actually didn't know what it meant. So I looked it up so I can share it with you. LEED actually stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. LEED is the most widely used green building rating system in the world and is a globally recognized symbol of sustainability achievement. 3 of Sally Noble's projects over the last 2 years have actually earned the Platinum LEED certification, which is the highest certification possible. Sally makes a point of educating her clients on green building practices that include geothermal heat, solar collection, and using locally manufactured products. And the office itself has its own conservation practices, such as recycling and energy conservation through an agreement with Duke Energy. Duke Energy can control the building's temperature during peak demand. Since the onset of COVID-19, the staff have increased their Zoom or phone meetings, which has resulted in a cut in travel that is likely to continue into the future. So again, not only does Sally Noble Architect make as its mission doing design, architecture and design in a way that really advances green, the idea of conservation, but they also implement their own practices in their own building. And accepting the award for Sally Noble LLC, Architect LLC, is Sally Noble herself. So thank you for joining us, Sally, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. It's very important to me to do green building practice. It's been something I've been doing for like last decade and got certified in it. And I love it. I'm going to continue. So thank you. I really appreciate this award. I've been in Wyoming. It'll be 17 years in January, my office, and I love it there and here, whatever. And I'm going to be here for a long time. So thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
So we're so pleased to be able to recognize these businesses in any year, and in particularly in a year that had the kind of challenges that this year did. So we thank them for all that they're doing. And what they do also helps promote Wyoming's image as a whole, as a green community. And that's really important for us to be able to share. So you will be receiving, in addition to this award, this presentation, you will be getting a vinyl cling to put on the window of your business that has the same logo that's on the screen right now. So we hope you will be able to display that proudly and be able to share what you're doing with your customers when they come and visit you at your business. And with that, I'll turn it back to Councilwoman Taylor.
Thanks, Sarah. Once again, congratulations, Sally Noble Architects, LLC, and Sheldon Ritter CPAs. I wish we could all be in a room together and stand up and cheer for you. But in lieu of that, please know we're all applauding all of your efforts, especially in a year like this. I want to recommend to all members of the community watching from home to please look for that Wyoming Green Business Award sticker on the businesses doors around our community. We'll also be sending over the logo to put on your websites, and just to know how important customer support for these sustainable businesses is. That helps keep these businesses thriving and giving back to our community. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mayor Hoffmeister, who will be reading into the record proclamations recognizing your work. Thank you and congratulations.
A resolution honoring Sally Noble Architect 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award winner. Whereas the Wyoming Environmental Stewardship Commission recognized the impact of our local businesses on our environment and in an effort to encourage and applaud our most sustainable businesses, the Environmental Stewardship Commission has established the Wyoming Green Business Award. And whereas the Environmental Stewardship Commission has selected Sally Noble Architect as a 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award winner for her efforts in the construction of LEED certified homes throughout Cincinnati. And whereas Sally Noble designs LEED certified homes on infill lots, which do not contribute to developing new land, designing projects that take into account green building practices, lower emissions, and using recycled products. And whereas Sally Noble designs LEED certified homes to contribute in protecting our world for future generations. And now therefore be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Wyoming on behalf of the people of the city wishes to congratulate Sally Noble Architect for her exemplary environmental efforts and for being selected for the 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award, passed unanimously this 16th day of November 2020. Resolution honoring Sheldon Reeder, CPA, 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award winner. Whereas the Wyoming Environmental Stewardship Commission recognizes the impact of our local businesses on our environment, and in an effort to encourage and applaud our most sustainable businesses, the Environmental Stewardship Commission has established the Wyoming Green Business Award. And whereas the Environmental Stewardship Commission solicited and reviewed nominations from several residents and the businesses themselves, and selected those making the greatest strides in conservation of resources, development of environmental initiatives, and customer environmental education. And whereas the Environmental Stewardship Commission has selected Sheldon Reeder, CPAs, as a 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award winner for its efforts, some of which include moving to paperless files and encouraging clients to adapt to receiving electronic materials. And now therefore be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Wyoming, on behalf of the people of the city, wishes to congratulate Sheldon Reeder, CPAs, for its exemplary environmental efforts and for being selected for the 2020 Wyoming Green Business Award, passed unanimously this 16th day of November, 2020. We'll now move to report from the Historic Preservation Commission and Architectural Review Board regarding a demolition application for a detached garage and associated replacement for a property located in the Village Historic District at Wyoming Avenue. Turn this over to the chair of the ARB, Gene Allison.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. My name is Gene Allison. I'm chair of the Architectural Review Board and also vice chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. We have reviewed the project for 18 Wyoming Avenue. We've started that review in August on the 19th, and then tabled it to have a work session with the designer and the owners to better place the addition and the proposed new garage, and then reviewed that project again on November 4th. And I believe you've all had access to our draft meeting notes from that meeting, which we looked at the new design that they proposed, discussed its merits and the various aspects of it in terms of its historic value, its placement on the site. 18 Wyoming Avenue is the first house on Wyoming Avenue on the north side, and it's directly next to the public library branch. So it abuts the commercial property on its west boundary. That was one of the factors we took into account relative to looking at the project and its placement and how they were going to develop the new two-car garage. With all that said, we did review the aspects, talked about the materials, the placement, scale, and general fit with the community, and found that it was an acceptable solution. It does still need to go before the BZA for a proposed circular drive that will access the property. And with all that said, we recommended that the demolition of the current garage be approved and that the new construction is in compliance with the historic guidelines and is appropriate for the community. With that, I'd open it to anyone who has questions.
Don't have a question. I do have a comment. I just want to commend the work of HPC and the ARB. This was a great example of private, public, and citizen input where all three of them came together. At first, when it was presented to the committees, there was quite a bit of a gap between what the architect and the homeowner wanted and what we felt fit within the guidelines of HPC and ARB. They commenced a working session, which I thought was a tremendous tool that's not typically utilized. Not a lot of other cities offer a service like that, and they were able to come together with a solution that satisfied both the homeowner's needs, the architect's desires, and still maintain the conformity that we'd like to see within HPC and ARB. So again, just want to commend both the committees and the collaborative approach that you took to working with this project.
Thank you.
It is recommended that the City Council adopt the report. Do I hear a motion with respect to the report?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to adopt the report, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Those opposed? The motion carries.
Yes.
Public hearing on demolition application for detached garage and associated replacement for a property located in the Village Historic District at 18 Wyoming Avenue. If there's anyone present who would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access the meeting via Zoom. The call-in number is 1301-715-8592. The meeting ID is 896-1252-3951, #. Password if prompted is 844-705. Again, if you would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access this meeting via Zoom. When calling in, please listen for my prompt to participate in the public hearing. When joining via the Zoom link, please raise your virtual hand to participate in the public hearing. Please state your name and address for the record before addressing City Council. Wait for a minute to see if anyone's going to participate.
I have no hands and no one's coming on.
All right. Hearing none, we will move on to the next item of business. A motion to approve the demolition application for detached garage and associate replacement for property located in the Village Historic District at 18 Wyoming Avenue. Do I hear a motion with respect to the demolition?
So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
Second, sorry, I can unmute that.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to authorize the application, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Stancorp Taylor,
Yes,
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes, the motion carries. Public hearing on the ordinance amending various sections of the Planning and Zoning Code. If there's anyone present who would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access the meeting via Zoom. The call-in number is 1301-715-8592. The meeting ID is 896-1252-3951, #. Password if prompted is 844-705. Again, if you would like to participate in the public meeting, you must access the meeting via Zoom. When calling in, please listen for my prompt to participate in the public hearing. When joining via the Zoom link, please raise your virtual hand to participate in the public hearing. Please state your name and address for the record before addressing City Council.
I actually have a question. Megan?
Hi.
Could you just explain a little bit the zoning regulations for retaining walls?
Yes, so the provision that's included in this draft legislation, Nancy, is just providing some guidance on the placement and height of retaining walls. Currently, our zoning code does not address retaining walls. We've run into some instances where maybe a inappropriately tall or placed right on a property line wall is proposed, and we don't have the ability to regulate those.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We get anybody, Rusty?
I have nobody. Nobody's raised their hand and nobody's coming in.
Hearing none, we will move on to the next item of business. This is the second reading of the ordinance amending various sections of the Planning and Zoning Code. The third reading is set for December 14th, 2020 City Council meeting. This is the second reading of the ordinance amending various sections of the building code. The third reading is set for December 14th, 2020 City Council meeting. Public hearing on the proposed capital improvement program for 2021. Turn it over to you, Rusty.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, I have our capital improvement projects for 2021. I'm going to start with our tennis courts. So these are the tennis courts that are near the high school, specifically courts 1 through 4. Those courts have gotten to be in pretty bad shape over the last year, and this would be a complete rebuild of those courts. The project cost is $282,000. We're hoping to receive funding from the USTA and up to $50,000. And then the remaining portion of that would be split between the city and the schools. The next project is the Village Green Pavilion. So many have heard about this, but it's going to create a new permanent performance space at the Village Green. This design was developed through a public design challenge. And this project has a cost of $500,000. 50,000 of that will come from the general fund cash from the city, and then another 450,000 would come from private donations. And this is just a sample drawing of what that area would look like. This project does have multiple phases, so this funding is for just the first phase, which is the performance area here. Our next program is our sidewalk replacement program. I know Megan is very excited about this. So each year we try to replace some of the sidewalk portions throughout the city. As they come in disrepair, we get calls and letting us know wherever the sidewalk is in pretty bad shape. So we have several that we need to do. So we have $30,000 set for replacing sidewalks in 2021. And that'll all be funded through general fund cash. And this project is pretty exciting. At the Civic Center, we have a new front patio that will go in at the Civic Center. So this will be on the Worthington side of the Civic Center. And it will be an outdoor patio, basically giving a lot more outdoor seating and room for outdoor meeting space or dining. It'll be able to be used from the public or private rentals. You'll be able to access the patio from the driveway in front, also the main entry lobby there of the Civic Center and the main hall. The project cost is $125,000, of which $100,000 of that would come from a CBDG Community Development Block Grant, and the remaining $25,000 would come from the general fund cash. This is what a drawing of it looks like. Just to give you an idea, at the bottom of your screen, that side, that's the main hall of the Civic Center. So you can see you can enter from the main hall to the patio. You can also enter from the hall, the entry hall of the Civic Center. The wall around the perimeter of the patio is at sitting height. So people can also sit on that wall. And then they'll be able to exit out onto the driveway as well. Our final project, not quite as cool as the front patio of the Civic Center, but that's the water reservoir roof replacement. I don't know who gets more excited about replacing the roof at their house, but if my house cost this much, I would be concerned. But but this project is $573,407. Now this is project funding is going to come from the Ohio Public Works Commission loan, and $140,000 of that is going to come from the Waterworks cash fund. And if you don't know where the reservoir is, it's up at Hilltop Park. It sits between the park and the school, and this would replace the roof of that facility. And that's all I have. Do I have any questions?
If there's anyone present who would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access the meeting via Zoom. The call-in number is 1301-715-8592. The meeting ID is 896-1252-3951 #. Password if prompted is 844705. Again, if you would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access the meeting via Zoom. When calling in, please listen for my prompt to participate in the public hearing. When joining via the Zoom link, please raise your virtual hand to participate in the public hearing. Please state your name and address for the record before addressing City Council.
Hey, Rusty.
Yes.
One thing I remember about the tennis courts is that they had really bad drainage underneath, and that was a problem. I just wondered, if that will be addressed when this goes forward.
Terry or Megan, do you want to step in and answer that?
Yeah, when we do the new construction, there'll be the way that the sub base and everything is set up. It should have proper draining all the way through it. So yeah, that was the problem, is it wasn't draining out the east side, causing the hydrostatic pressure. So that should all be taken care of.
Okay, great. And why is that roof so expensive? It looks like it's made of concrete. Is that correct?
It is. I believe it is a concrete roof. I don't know. Mike can probably provide it. Mike, are you on? Can you answer that?
The good question. Why is it so expensive? We looked at possible repair of it, and it was going to be about the same price, believe it or not, just repairs. So we opted for the full replacement, which will be aluminum dome instead of concrete. And the biggest savings is we're not going to use as much Cincinnati water while we're doing the replacement roof as opposed to repairs. And we'll see where it comes in when we bid the project. I mean, hopefully it'll be less, but we'll see what happens.
Thanks.
I have no hands up and no one trying to join in.
Hearing none, we will move on to the next item of business, resolution adopting the 2021 capital improvement program. Do I hear a motion with respect to the resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
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 Those opposed? The motion carries. Public hearing on the proposed 2021 appropriations budget. Turn over to Jeremiah.
Good evening. I do have the PowerPoint for the budget presentation. So I'm going to get that pulled up. Okay, I think everyone can see the PowerPoint at my screen. Yep. So tonight I do have the 2021 proposed budget presentation. The 2021 budget, just to give you an overview, the budget is comprised of three components. You have the operating budget, the capital budget, and debt service. And obviously in the last public hearing, Rusty went through the capital program for 2021. And those numbers are included in this budget. But again, the budget totals $14.8 million. And as a comparison of the proposed budget to the approved 2020 budget, all three, the operating, capital, and debt, are all down compared to 2020. As we went through the operating budgets, which include general fund, recreation, water, and met with the department heads this summer and fall. A part of the process was to try to reduce expenditures where we could, to try to keep our 2021 proposed budget down in anticipation for any potential impact with the pandemic and COVID-19. So as you can see, the operating budget is down 7.8%. The capital budget is down. That also really just fluctuates depending upon the projects from year to year. In 2020, a portion of that was finishing the Springfield Pike reconstruction, so that's why it was so much higher in 2020. And then our debt service, comparing 2020 to 2021, as part of the Cattleman project and completing the fields, we did receive a grant, and we're using those grant proceeds to pay down the bond that was issued to complete that project. So that's why the debt service looks so much higher in 2020. That was approximately $456,000 that we're paying down in debt service in 2020. And just to go through quickly the general fund revenue, so you can see income tax receipts. The 2021 proposed budget is a 15% decline from our 2020 budget. Our 2020 budget was $6.2 million. The 15% anticipated decline is based upon the previous recession. So in 2007 through 2009, the tax receipts declined 15% during that time period. I would see this as maybe a worst case scenario, and depending upon what happens with the economy in the first quarter of next year, that the income tax receipt number could be better than what is proposed. But this then shows kind of the picture and where and preparing for where we could potentially be at the end of 2021 and still be in a fiscally sound position. There is no really impact anticipated to property tax receipts, and there is a decline in local government fund of about $11,000 that's anticipated in 2021. And just to give you a chart, as you can see, about 90% of the city's revenue in the general fund is comprised of property and income tax. About 60% income tax and about 30% property tax. And in terms of the property tax assessed value, as you can see, the years in 2011, 2012, and 2013 was the reassessment after the recession, and our property values declined about approximately 11% during that time period. And then with the reevaluation in 2014, we regained all of that decline. And as you can see, property tax values have been slightly increasing over the last 5 to 6 years. And in terms of our income tax revenue, really the major points to talk about is in 2015, the tax rate increased from 0.8 to 1%. So you can see that's where that jumped up from 2012 through 2014. And tax receipts do fluctuate a little bit from year to year, depending upon obviously what's going on in the economy and in the stock market. As you can see, in 2019 was the highest year in terms of income tax receipts that we've had. It was just over $6.5 million. And in 2020, the estimate is 5.9 to 6 million, and then again the 5.2 proposed income tax budget for 2021. So if things don't decline and the economy stays stable and strong, we could be somewhere between 6.2 and 6.5 million in income tax receipts. In general fund operating expenditures, you can see overall in the general fund, it's a 4.8% decline or decrease in proposed expenditures from the 2021 proposed to the 2020 appropriation. And this basically kind of categorizes the general fund departments. So general fund government services, that's the administration, finance, legal expenses, public safety, obviously, police, fire, public works. Public works is the public service and infrastructure. And then just to show you the general fund transfers or cash outlay for capital projects. And budgeted transfers out. Some of that is for our health life fund and for the recreation fund. So it is a subsidy to the recreation fund. It's budgeted at $300,000 for next year. And then you can see the amount transferred for debt service that's related to the general fund or governmental activities versus our water activity. Again, another chart, so you can see about 2/3 of the city's expenditures are related to general government, public safety, and public service. Recreation probably obviously has had the greatest impact in terms of revenue due to the pandemic and COVID-19. You can see, and Revenue for 2019 was 1.2 million. We're on target for the $610,000 estimate for 2020, and our proposed 2021 revenue is just under $900,000. And obviously, that all depends on if we are continuing to stay open and the economy continues to recover. In terms of the recreation fund expenditures, as you can see, there has been significant effort to decrease the expenditures in 2020 in anticipation and obviously now the realized loss in revenue. And the 2021 proposed budget is just over $1 million. Waterworks fund expenditures. Obviously, the Waterworks fund, separate from the general fund, is based on usage fees, so it is obviously separate and different than income tax and property tax. You can see there's a slight decline or decrease in the operating costs. The capital cost is significantly higher due to the capital project, the reservoir roof project being budgeted for 2021, and then debt service and transfers are down as well for 2021, and some of that has to do with transfers for debt service and capital projects. And this is the last chart that I have is kind of the value of the tax dollars. It shows you kind of a percent of each tax dollar and how it's spent in the community, comparing public safety, public service, general government, recreation, capital improvement projects, and on debt service. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions regarding the presentation.
Question, please.
Yes.
I'm very impressed looking at the Cattleman property at how rapidly that work was done, and I'm very impressed. So my question to you and to Rachel is, will there be a significant upcharge of the operating cost of the fields as a result of the high quality, obviously, but will it be much more expensive to us to operate those fields as a result of the new construction?
I don't know if Rachel's on. I mean, I don't anticipate an increase in operating costs due to the fields. There should be some additional revenue generated for turf field rentals. Rachel, I don't know if you're on and want to.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I could hear you before. Now I don't.
Okay, what about now?
Yes.
No, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm testing out a new headphones here. Yeah, I echo what Jeremiah said. We're anticipating additional revenue from, I mean, even the large field right now. We haven't set the fee structure just yet for the smaller fields. I think we're trying to figure out exactly how that's going to weave into the revenue structure. It obviously wouldn't be the same rate for the larger field. And kind of see the demand for that. I think training, anything from flag football to any sort of, practice field. I think the smaller fields will be in high demand for that. So that's definitely something we're going to work through as we get through lacrosse season, and soccer, which will be our sports coming up here in the spring, and they are very excited to get on those new fields. So we're excited too.
I want to compliment the recreation department and the people involved in the construction because it looks like a very impressive effort. I remember 6 or 7 years ago when we started into this, it looked like a real stretch, but now it's really going to be a very fine presentation of Wyoming recreation. So I wanted to compliment those who are involved.
Thank you.
If there's anyone present who would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access the meeting via Zoom. The call-in number is 1301-715-8592. The meeting ID is 896-1252-3951, #. Password if prompted is 844705. Again, if you would like to participate in the public hearing, you must access the meeting via Zoom. When calling in, please listen for my prompt to participate in the public hearing. When joining via the Zoom link, please raise your virtual hand to participate in the public hearing. Please state your name and address for the record before addressing City Council.
I don't see any hands and nobody's joined.
All right. Hearing none, we will move to the next item of business. This is the third reading of the ordinance adopting the fees and charges for 2021. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and second to adopt the ordinance, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Stancorp Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes. This is the motion passes. Motion carries, excuse me. This is the third reading of the ordinance amending chapter 1188 and section 1171.03G of the Planning and Zoning Code pertaining to outdoor dining, transient businesses, and food trucks. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to adopt the ordinance, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Stancorp Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes. The motion carries. This is the third reading of the ordinance amending section 351.14A of the codified ordinances of the city of Wyoming pertaining to restricted parking for certain vehicles. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to adopt the ordinance, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Stancorp Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes. The motion carries. This is the third reading of the ordinance amending section 505.18 of the codified ordinances of the city of Wyoming pertaining to the keeping of bees. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to adopt the ordinance, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Stancorp Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes. This is the motion carries. This is the third reading of the ordinance amending section 121.01 of the codified ordinance of the city of Wyoming pertaining to the rules of council. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I continue,
Go ahead.
I continue to believe the word personhood is unenforceable. As I said in the committee of the whole, I encourage the solicitor to be careful about prosecuting anyone for the personhood violations, because I think the word is not actionable and would probably result in a failure in court. I leave that to the solicitor for the future. The personhood is not an efficient way to define a violation.
Mr. O'Reilly, that word was removed per
Thank
the
you.
first discussion that we had on the
Thank
first
you.
reading. Sure.
Having been moved and seconded to adopt the ordinance, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Stancorp Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes. Motion carries. This is the first reading of the ordinance amending the City of Wyoming Stormwater District rules and regulations for illicit discharges, earthworks, stream corridors, and post-construction water quality. Turn it over to Mr. Lippert. Do you have any additional?
Okay. Do you, I can give a brief overview. We passed our original stormwater quality regs in 2009. This is an update to comply with EPA requirements and also to remove references to Hamilton County that no longer apply.
Any questions? It is recommended the rules be suspended and the ordinance be considered for adoption tonight. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules?
I make the motion to suspend the rules.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to suspend the rules, it takes an affirmative vote of 5 for passage. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Dancorb Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes, the motion carries. We'll now need a motion to consider adoption of the ordinance tonight. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to adopt the ordinance, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Dancorb Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes, the motion carries. We're now on to the miscellaneous section of the meeting. Mr. O'Reilly.
Nothing.
Zach.
Nothing. Have a great rest of the month.
Sarah.
Yeah, two very quick things. Looking at the budget overview for the year for the rec department, I just wanted to thank Rachel Ettinger again and the staff in the rec department. It's been a really tough year, and you've gotten, as Jim said, some amazing things done in the midst of all of that. So thank you for that. And also, I just wanted to commend acting city manager Herzog on his God Leaves video. It was the talk of the town, and people are very excited to get their leaves out and they know more about our leaf pickup than they ever did. So I'm excited to see what else comes up on the YouTube channel. That's it. Thanks.
Al?
I have nothing at this point. Thank you very much.
Nancy?
I just have to say that I have not seen this video, but now I cannot wait to tune in. I assume that you're wielding a rake. No?
Nope, no rakes.
All right.
Are you in a million viewing yet?
Not quite to 1 million views, no.
Nope.
Let's hope you go viral.
No, we don't need to go viral. But I've been, someone told me that they learned what to do with their leaves and that I'm still a kid.
All right. We have, I think we have to appoint, Jim O'Reilly to OKI. So I'm going to put a motion during my miscellaneous to appoint Jim as the representative to OKI. Is there a second?
I make the motion to appoint Jim to OKI.
All right.
And you need a second?
Second.
Yes. All right. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Those opposed? All right. Motion carries. He's appointed to OKI. Just any words? I would just say be safe and look out for your neighbor. We'll now move on to the excusal of absent members. Do I hear a motion to excuse Mr. Leroy?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Having been moved and seconded to excuse Mr. Leroy, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Ms. Dancorp Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffmeister.
Yes, the motion carries. There will be no executive session tonight. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second?
Second. Whichever one of us.
Having been moved and seconded to adjourn for the night, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Council stands